Hello, Saints. We're in Romans chapter 9. We talked about who is Israel. Remember, we said not all who say they're Israel is Israel. Um, so what we got then in that next verse, he says, nor are there all the children, because they are Abraham's descendants. But through Isaac, your descendants will be named. So it's not just because they're Abraham's children. Not all the children of Abraham will be blessed. I mean, even the Muslims, yeah, they're the children of Abraham. And they call him Father Abraham. But it's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's what Paul wants to bring here. And that's the point he's making. It's not because they're descendants of Abraham, but through Isaac, your descendants will be named. That is, it's not just the children of the flesh who are children of God, but the children of the promise are regarded as descendants. And yet that they're regarded as descendants, even if they're not actual descendants. He says, verse 9, this is the word of promise. I promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son. Remember, that's back in Genesis 3, where we find that at Genesis 18:10. So, and not only this, he says, but there was Rebekah also, when she had conceived twins by one man, our father Isaac. And though the twins were not yet born and had not done anything, good or bad, so that God's purpose, according to his choice, would stand, not because of works of what they did, but because of him who calls. And it was said to her, the older will serve the younger, just as it is written, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. That's Malachi 1, verse 2 and following. It's not hate in that hate, and it's not that God is determining who he loves and who he hates. It's showing here that God is in control of who's what. He put the blessing on who he wanted, Jacob, not because of what Jacob did, but because of what God did. Put the blessing on him. He could have put the blessing on Esau, just the same, but he didn't. So we need to understand it's God's work here, his sovereign work, to where the line would come from. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And so that's important for us to understand. He says, what shall I say then? There is no injustice with God, is there? May it never be. Not that God was being just for one over the other for what they did. God is God, and he made the choice and decision who the line would go through. Jacob was the choice. And he says to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. Only a God can say that, and God does. So then it doesn't depend on you and me. That's the next verse. So then it does not depend on the man who wills or the man who runs, but on God, who has mercy. All on God, not based on what we do. All God's choice. For the scripture says to Pharaoh, for this very promise I raised you up to demonstrate my power in you, and that my name might be proclaimed throughout the whole earth. So then he has mercy on whom he desires, and he hardens whom he desires. Verse 18, where he hardened the heart of Pharaoh. Now Pharaoh's heart was hardened because God coming at him so quickly. Pharaoh kept resisting. But Pharaoh could have chosen to acquiesce to God. He didn't have to brace himself. It was not that God in himself made Pharaoh lost. There's still choices to be made. We're going to pick up next time with the question, you will say then to me, why does he still find fault? For he who resists his will. In other words, if God is all in control doing everything, why does he turn around then and blame us for sin? Important question. Pick it up next time. Blessings.